Hi, I'm Andrea,
And I'm Jasmine,
and we're Natural Be Ewe.
here for our Sip and Stitch.
I hope you have something to sip.
Cheers!
Cheers.
And something to knit.
Yes, or crochet or whatever.
The line is something to stitch. Sorry.
What are you working on?
We did a Sip and Stitch halfway through last month because of circumstances. So I finished the sock I was knitting then, and I am currently on the second sock. I have second sock syndrome, and I've only made it through the cuff. But look, they're matching. Oh, I've got some yarn in the side I'm showing people as well.
Oh, that worked out perfect.
Yeah, they're exactly the same, but I'm now seeing that I actually did the cuff longer on the other one. Do you see that?
Nope.
You don't
I see nothing.
I can see that I've messed up, but I won't be taking it back.
It's a sock.
Because it's a sock. I knit a 4-inch cuff until the end of the first blue stripe here, and then I went into my stocking knit on this one. And I forgot that I did that, so even though they're perfectly matching, I started on the stocking knit section at the blue, not past it. So slight variations. But considering that it's a self-striping, self-arraying yarn, and I didn't plan it as in,
Oh, didn't you?
No, I didn't cut any yarn out. I just cast on. I'm quite thrilled that they're making matching socks with very little effort.
And the accident happened to me too with that first pair.
That's right. The first pair is a sample in the store, which continues to sell the Superba Fair Isle socks. And you've decided to make another sample so that you can finally wear them.
Yes. Or these.
Yeah.
And this is another one of the colorways. I think we have like 6 different colors. But
7 now, maybe?
Maybe.
There's quite a few.
For now.
I'm working with the purple. You're working with, it's a beautiful like blues and yellows and charcoal color in there.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
No,
but
they
anyway,
just have numbers on them.
Yes. I thought we would start out because yesterday we announced that we're going to start a Knitalong in 3 weeks on the first day of spring.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that if you are almost finished projects and you're going to be joining us for that you might want to fill the gap with a couple pairs of socks or something.
I think sock knitting is like the staple for a knitter. It's always something that you have on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're headed somewhere and you want to take a project with you. It's small
so
and simple.
I like doing and because it's just an on-the-go simple project that you can take with you, it's nice to do a vanilla sock. So if you have an interesting yarn, then you don't have to worry about it being a plain sock.
Right. Unless you're somebody who can keep the intricacies of the pattern in your head and not have to take it with you to do like cabling on the side of a sock or some kind of lace work. But I'm not that kind of person.
I think that just defeats the purpose of simple being able to talk and be wherever.
But some people like fancy socks.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So then they need 2 pairs of socks on the go.
Exactly. And for your really nice pair with the cables or the lace work, maybe you're going to want to go for a naturally dyed organic merino recycled nylon sock blend. And we have sock sets. This one we called Sunrise Trail because it is the colors of the Nova Scotia flag. And we have quite a few sock sets like this in the store. They are retailing at $40, but then we have some other cheaper self-striping sock yarn that you were about to show off.
Yes. So there's a limited number of these left. They're called Funny Ball, and they are a self-striping yarn. I knit 1 pair with them.
Because we decided this was our favorite
and it's
color.
rather cool because it doesn't stripe from color to color and keep going. It kind of goes like this here, from the red to the purple, blue, green, yellow, and then back to green, blue.
Red and purple, yeah.
Yeah, so it stripes in and out.
in and out. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so...
What's special about these socks? Because we say they're plain vanilla, but you did something different here.
Well, I'm calling them left foot, right foot.
Left foot, right foot? I love it.
I'm putting them on my hand to demonstrate.
Exquisite sock puppets.
Yes. Can you see?
I can see, but I'm not sure. Maybe hold your hands a little closer. There we go.
Left foot, right foot. It's shaped for decreasing for your big toe because you need
Right.
less sock on the baby toe side than you do on the big toe side.
Right, and typically socks decrease on both sides at the same time, creating a sort of triangle or V shape. Usually it's a bit squared at top a little bit, like 12 to 8 stitches that are kept that you Kitchener stitch together.
Yes.
But these have a better...
I saw a post of somebody having done this, and I thought, I can do that. So if during the month of March you buy some sock yarn, we will give you the little recipe for the toes, for left foot, right foot.
It can be added to any top-down toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be hard for you to write a recipe for if it was toe up, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. No.
No.
This is for cuff down socks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for the month of March.
Excellent. And the other colors we still had, the purple's gone, sorry guys. But there's this beautiful blues, navies,
in gray,
soft
almost.
blue, cornflower kind of, and then this teals and grays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to join us for the knit along, which I don't understand why you wouldn't, and you have a gap, fill it with socks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the knit along. Oh, sorry. You're on to the next.
Yeah. Well, these are socks. Jasmine released this pattern this month. This
in February.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting we're 2 days in, or 3 days in. They're called Marling Darling socks, and they hold a strand of mohair and 3 strands of fingering together. And you swap out minis or leftovers in your color groups to have a gentle fade in your sock.
It doesn't have to be a fade if you don't want, but it's a marling of color. And in the design, the pattern, I talk about how to marl your colors, how to create like sort of a consistency if that's what you're going for.
Yeah, because this has got the beiges and yellows right through the sock.
And it is still just a vanilla sock pattern, but it's meant to be a sort of exquisite slipper sock. It's definitely for around the house because they are thick and warm. Mm-hmm. They are they're quite wide. Does that make sense?
I can wear a regular knit sock inside them.
Right, and that's because when you're at home,
to have warm feet.
You might want to do that. They're just meant to be thrown on. I have a pair. I knit myself a pair that doesn't gradiate quite the same. They're not matching like I did for Mom. And I like to throw them on over a pair of leggings or something. And these are the nights when it's a bit chillier and I'm wearing a thick sweater to begin with. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay, so fill the gap with socks.
Right. And we keep mentioning or hinting at this knit along. The other day we announced that we are starting our year of adventurous knitting again. And the first knit along of the year will begin the first day of spring, March 21st, with what are we calling it? The Spring Floozy Knit Along.
Yes.
And that's because you get to choose your own adventure. It's one design, 2 patterns.
Yes.
Is that kind of...
There's a pattern for a cardigan called Floozy, and then there's a new pattern for a sweater that's called Floozy 2, Too.
Right.
So you can make a sweater or a cardigan.
Right.
Which spring is perfect for a thinner.
Yes,
knit.
Because it's knit with fingering weight yarn, it is going to be a lighter knit that will transition from spring into summer nights.
Yeah. And
help you with the transition back into fall. That's why we decided to start a sweater this point in the year rather than wait for the fall, because it'll just be...
And if you like, you can make it short sleeved.
Yes.
For the sweater. And the cardigan, a light cardigan is always nice to wear into a restaurant where the air conditioning is blowing, or later in the evening in the summer.
This is our second annual spring sweater knit along. We weren't sure if we were going to do it every year, but last year I was busy redesigning the website, so Mom knit both the samples, and you knit the sprocket sweater where you did full length sleeves?
Yes, I was full length.
And then, as you were just saying, you don't have to do a full length sweater. You knit the Aster Tee.
Yes, and that was like a cap sleeve sort of idea.
Right, so the same idea applies now.
Right.
You get to choose.
Yes. And the pattern calls for, depending on your size, either 3 or 4 skeins for the main color, a 50-gram skein for the contrast color, and one of the Advent minis, the 25-gram minis for a pop of color. And if you don't have a 25-gram mini, we don't really have any right now either, do we?
Nope.
So if you didn't have an Advent calendar, you can just pick up another 50-gram skein of our yarn, because a lot of our colors come in 50 grams as well as 100 grams.
Right, but we do plan these knit-alongs with a lot of the Advent calendar recipients in mind, so that you have something to do with your minis.
Yes.
And on that note, we did determine that if you don't want to use or buy a 50-gram skein, you would actually just need to use 3 minis.
Yes, for the pattern.
Yeah.
So you can do it with 3. Yep.
Exactly. And we're going to talk more about that over the coming weeks.
Yes.
I am going to release a video, Andrea showing you
some other
snippets of what she's knit so far.
And color combinations and how to choose.
Yeah, talking through how to choose, how to make sure that it is slip stitches, so you're not doing Fair Isle, but it is mosaic, you want it to pop. So how to choose and how to get dramatic contrast and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
And now we're going to talk about this.
Right. If you want more information on the knit along, or you want to join along, please see a brief write-up under events on our website, or mark yourself going and read the description in the Facebook event.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In order to kick off the month, you've dyed some new colors.
I did. I had fun.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Doesn't this just scream spring, summer?
It really does. I mean, it's such a happy orange. It's almost like a clementine, and we have to compare it to the orange from the Advent calendar. We're not sure if it's Otis and Clementine or if it's Atlantic Sunrise. Right? But we definitely dyed it a full skein option from the Advent calendar, and we're going to continue to introduce pops of those colors throughout the year. But
yes.
This one makes me happy.
Yeah, really makes me happy.
Right.
So, and for the knit along, it's nice to have a tonal for either the contrast or the main color.
Right, but speaking of tonal, they don't necessarily go together, but they are very spring-like colors. And somebody the other day commented that we should have mini egg colors or traditional Easter egg colors. So I just want to point out this beautiful soft pink, which is another tonal. There's a bit more variation in this skein with the lighter shades and a hint of speckling as well. Isn't this Bloomshin? Another dye lot similar?
Quite.
Not quite. So we're going to have to name it something else. But they pop against each other.
It is a lot. It's very similar to Bloomshin, but it doesn't have as many speckles.
Right. So either it's a different dye lot, or we're going to just determine a different color.
Well, we're doing Floozy and Floozy 2. We may as well just call that Bloomshin 2.
Okay. Why not? We clearly haven't decided the names yet, because these just came out of the dye pots the other day, and we just finished dyeing them.
I took it off the drying rack this morning and twisted them up.
Right.
So this next one is also from the Advent calendar.
Oh, and everyone loved it, and I hope you love it now. It's one of my favorites.
I really like this.
It's a very subtle dye job.
Oh my God, look at this.
Oh, and it's dyed using black sunflower seeds. Hopi
black sunflowers, yeah.
Yeah, here.
So, sometimes in our yarn, because we use all natural dyes,
there was a sunflower seed still left in there.
Sometimes the way I dye it is with direct contact. And I shake and I pick and I rinse, and sometimes there's still a little piece of vegetation in there. So, if you do get a little piece of vegetation, it's almost like part of the history of it.
Right. No, it's fun to see.
Yeah.
But we have had people think that dyed materials were still in their yarn before. This was years ago when we called it earthen. It had a linen, silk, cotton combination.
Oh yes, and it was actually, the yarn was like that. It wasn't the dye
and somebody thought it was that we had some kind of, fibrous piece in there, and they were pulling out the strands, and we're like, that's the linen, don't do that. So if ever in doubt, ask us.
Sometimes it's obvious, like you can tell it's a sunflower seed. Right? But you know what? These two really go together nicely.
They look so good together.
So
Now these are on our Gots to Have It Merino, which has been processed. It's organic merino, but it's been processed with an organic method of superwash. They're calling it the Schuler XP method, and it doesn't use chlorination or chlorine. It's an oxidization salt-like process that helps to descale the yarn. All that being said, I'd still just wash by hand, but it does make the colors a bit more vivid.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that one there's similar to a couple of the colors in the Advent, but with a different combination.
Mm-hmm.
This here is marigold and cochineal.
Right.
But in the Advent calendar, it was oh no, not with sunflower seeds, but hollyhocks and marigold were mixed. Remember the blue hollyhock, the black hollyhocks?
Yes, I do. I do remember that a lot. But we have only a few of the black hollyhocks left, so we've made a variation on it, and it goes beautifully. We haven't come up with a name just yet, but it goes beautifully with, what did you say, Bloomshin 2?
Yeah, Bloomshin 2.
And also a colorway that came out last month that we are in love with.
This is from the Advent calendar.
It doesn't quite go with that one. My bad.
It goes with Bloomshin 2.
Yes, Bloomshin 2. In case you're thinking of using, yes, I know what you're saying, but I was trying to put it with this. This goes nicely.
Yes, that goes nicely.
And this is a 50-gram skein of our Bordeaux on the Echo option. So if you're knitting, if you're deciding to join the knit along and you decide that you're making the cardigan and say you're in between needing 3 and 4 skeins or 2 and 3 skeins, if you choose to do
your main
color with Echo, there is a good chance that you can order 50 grams to make up the difference and not have to order, say, 4 skeins.
And sometimes there's not enough, because we have quite a variety of colors. Sometimes there might not be enough 100-gram skeins, so you can buy the difference in 50-gram ones.
Very true, yeah.
But those two go.
Those look lovely together. But again, if you're knitting the sweater and this is your body, I wouldn't recommend that as your
contrast because some
color.
of it won't show next to
you won't get the beautiful the design. You need something that's really going to pop against it, like this.
Those two would, yes.
Even
or
if
this one with Bordeaux.
I was gonna say if you're doing the body, yep. You can even go crazy. You've put a green on the table. I love this evergreen, which would really pop as well.
Well, it goes with all of them.
Yeah. Well, go is a relative term. It definitely makes a statement with all of it. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. Okay, and with beach pebbles, that's what that was called. Turn it around to so they see a little bit of the more darker speckles. Yeah. Love that. So this is evergreen. Someone asked if we'd have a green this month for
St. Patrick's.
And I know it's not your typical
Irish
green, but it's really hard to get greens in natural dyes.
You have to over dye yellow.
We're very proud of this one. So yeah. I think this is our green for the month. What other colors do you need me to pull away so you can play? I know you want to play.
Yes. Driftwood.
Driftwood.
With this one.
Gorgeous.
Right? And then you need a pop of color for the mini or another 50-gram skein. Look at that.
Right?
Yeah. And you could do this, the pop of color, and that's more or less, whatever.
What are you talking about?
You can swap those two out.
Right. Right. This can be the main piece, and this is the
extra pop.
Extra pop. So when we say extra pop, in the cardigan or the sweater, you are going to need 50 grams for the majority. Let's call it contrast color 1. And then there's an accent contrast color, which is the equivalent of a mini. So if you don't have minis, we're saying go with 50 grams because they're always good later for socks or, adding them, striping them into another project.
Yeah, and we'll be doing other mini projects. So if you have leftovers from your minis, there'll be something to use it with. Or
you love chowder.
I love chowder.
So chowder is was in the advent calendar as well. We've got some mini here.
Again, because the orange in the main skein would be so much different. It's different. It would show.
Yeah, let me show you. This one is a little bit more ruddy, pinky in tone. So we do think that it would show against it, but I don't know if you're not willing to take that chance and you want a real difference, definitely pair it with something where there's some variation. Like high contrast. I'm not even sure that that's quite right. High contrast.
Probably this one.
Yes. So we have full skeins of Silent Night as well. That's a high contrast one.
Yep.
Oh, we've only got so many yarns in front of us to play with, but we have more options in store, right? So
yeah.
I'm just trying to let you all know.
Give you an example.
That there's ways to play with color, and we're really excited. We're going to put together some kits.
Yes.
More like suggestions. You'll have to mix and match your own kits on the website.
Because of the size difference too, because some people might need 3 and some people might need 4 skeins for the main color.
If you're petite, we do have quite a few petite knitters. You might not even need 3.
Might need
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. So we want there to be flexibility with play. Plus, we're going to reveal the colors Andrea chose, which are not on this table. and then so we're going to have, I don't know, let's say 4 sets made up as inspiration, and I'm going to put those out there along with some tips and tricks, little videos over the next couple weeks to get everyone prepared.
So I think that and then the only other thing is, did we already talk about, what else is there to talk about? What you're wearing.
Oh, I wasn't even going to mention it. I'm wearing one of our cotton shawls, or are we calling it a scarf? It's a shawl.
It's a shawl.
Yes, and it's been eco-printed with some coreopsis and marigolds from the garden. This is one of the more toned down variations. There are some that have like splashes of gray and black and purples as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of more like
rose petals
abstract,
and geraniums, and some have just got leaves.
Right, and this one's a little more toned down. There's some abstract, there's some bright yellows, and some really fun different scars. And I'm sorry they're not on the website because it's so hard to photograph them all.
Because they're all one of a kind, right? And
they're long, and
then the lighting isn't always right. And Jasmine...
And I refuse to buy a big ring light because we've used it before and I don't like the effects as well. So I'm going to have to figure out maybe a huge spotlight of some kind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ring lights just give glare, like on your glasses.
Yes.
When we're
filming. Which is because it's a sunny day today and this is a south-facing window, so
yeah,
the sun's coming in.
But the ring light is usually like a ring on both of them.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to figure something else out with that. But my point being is, I love this scarf. You'll be able to find them in store. And if you are shopping from further away and want to know what kind of options we have for that, just message us. We're happy to share.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Knitalong, it kicks off March 21st.
Yes.
At 4 p.m. there will be a video uploaded to our Year of Adventurous Knitting podcast.
It's a virtual knit along, so there will be weekly videos to kind of talk about tips and tricks for that particular week.
Yeah, as I was saying, on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be available every Thursday at 4 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. And that's because Thursday nights, alternating weeks, we have a local knit night in person, and then on the alternating weeks we have a virtual knit night called Maker Circle,
which is a Zoom social,
so that we can watch the video together or record it and then you watch it and then come together to answer any questions or show off our progress and just connect that way.
Yeah, because we are supposed to be knitting along. And that's the other thing about the Year of Adventurous Knitting group, is that as you're going along, if you have a question about something or you want to share something about your project, progress pictures, that kind of thing, that's the place where you can share and have a discussion with other people, as well as the actual event discussion area. So there's all kinds of ways to connect.
Yes. Don't be so bashful and shy. Anytime you want to post in the Year of Adventurous Knitting, especially about projects that you've used minis for, please do so.
Yes, we would really like that because that benefits all everybody that's in the group.
And furthermore, this knit along is going to be a little bit different. Yes, we've got the event and the group, but I've decided that I'm going to do sort of like a digital PDF that everyone needs to add to as they progress.
Oh, I was like, what's she talking
for
about?
The ballots,
now I get it. Yeah,
for the ballots.
There will be a draw.
Because I went crazy last time. I thought I could keep track of everything that people were posting, and therefore they got the ballots
really convoluted
when they posted to social media. Now I know that was a bit of a crazy idea, and there's going to be a little bit more structure. We've talked about what we're going to be demonstrating each week and how we plan to move along through the 6 weeks that we're knitting, the different ideas and demonstrations that we want to have available for you, like
tips and tricks.
That's what we're calling it, yeah.
Yeah, and so potentially links to things that give you options.
Things to watch to help you with anything that might come along and be a little bit difficult.
But the fact that we have the Zoom and the Knit Night is perfect for the Thursdays being the week mark for the different sections of the knit along.
Right. We do hope that you will join us for this knit along, but if you're not...
I had somebody buy some yarn already yesterday.
Yeah. But if you're not feeling the sweater, or you just want to be a passive participant, either you're just observing or you're working through it on your own time, know that we will have another knit along for the summer, and we are already leaning into a beautiful shawl. And it might be my own design.
Isn't that exciting? So we're a little bit slow to making knit alongs available. Last year we had one in January. This year we decided to have a slower approach to the year. And
I think the year's just been, well,
we were all glad that 2023 was over, but 2024 hasn't had no issues at all. So
I think we're all feeling sort of a collective grief, perhaps, with the events that are taking place in the world. I mean, I'm only alluding to them, but like here and abroad, there's a lot that hangs heavy on our shoulders right now. And knitting is a mindful practice that brings us some peace. And hopefully, I've been feeling really disconnected from people in the world. So hopefully knitting together is sort of a solace right now.
Yeah. I think that the world needs it. We can all do our little bits, but sometimes that doesn't feel like it's quite enough. So, being part of the slow fashion movement, using sustainable knitting practices, doing our bit in whatever way we can, whether it's signing petitions for larger issues.
Protesting, boycotting, just speaking up. And if you're not the most eloquent with your words, or you don't feel you're the most knowledgeable, just sharing posts of other content creators who are getting the word out about different issues that you feel strongly for is also a huge benefit. Liking, commenting, sharing, it makes a difference.
It does, because the whole world right now is hurting in a multitude of different ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't mean to be...
No, we know that you turn to knitting. A lot of people turn to knitting and crocheting and crafting as a way to release some of that tension.
Yeah. So we're sorry.
And so we know that we don't want to talk too much on it and take that away from you. But at the same time, if you have a platform of any degree, I mean, we've got maybe 3,000 people between our two biggest platforms. That's not huge. But you still have to say things like, this is wrong, call and email your MPs, don't stop talking about it, because otherwise you're wasting your platform.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's true of any topic out there right now, whether it's climate change or corporations and capitalism and corruption and genocide.
Yeah.
We're all hurting in multiple ways. So
we don't try to touch on it too often, and
No.
we're sorry that we did.
Yeah.
But
so sometimes you just gotta,
sometimes,
gotta give the yarn a hug, right?
oh, squishy goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we thank you for watching our Sip and Stitch. We hope that you'll join us in the future on different episodes that are upcoming. And we really want you to join in on our Maker Circle, the bi-weekly social Zooms we're talking about. And we hope you buy yarn and join in the Knitalong.
Yeah,
I think we're all
because the prizes are going to be for people that work with our yarn.
Yes. You can work from stash. We understand that.
And
we accept that. We just want you to knit faster.
Yes. That's right.
Right.
And if you've got something in your stash that you would like to use, but you don't have something that needs to go with it, we'd be happy to help you figure that one out too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Not always, but sometimes chemically or acid dyed yarns do go really nicely with naturally dyed items.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, because the colors from nature sort of, well, they go with everything, don't they? They're beautiful, and and they blend well with the world around us and with our things.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm now rambling.
That's usually me.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
thank you for joining us. We're going to let you go.
we're gonna go too. We've got an event to attend.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Be natural.
Be you.
Bye.
Bye.